Hello, Cheryl here. I just want to tell a quick story tonight about um, something that happened about 3 years ago now. We've been living in our home almost 3 years now. And before we moved here, we were living in another home that we were planning on buying. And we told the owners of the house that we were going to buy the property. And it was like um, a 18-month rent to own type deal. And so when the 18 months was almost up, I was the one who had to sign my name on the document. And I started feeling this feeling inside my stomach. It's almost like a scary feeling, but I knew I wasn't. It wasn't scary, but it was something that was telling me that something's not right here. I am not to sign my name on the document. But my husband, he really wanted to stay at the house that we were living in. It was a nice place, but there were some things that were not quite right with that area. One thing that we really hated was the road. It was so many potholes. I mean, literally every time we went down the road, everything inside our vehicle just shook. Everything just shook. So we had to always hold on to everything on the inside of our vehicle because it was so bumpy. And they properly named it Pothole Drive. So anyway, um, when the time was um, up for us to sign the document for our present home, I was feeling like something's not right. I can't sign the papers because I'm not feeling that we should stay here at this house. I believe that there's another house that we should move into. I don't know where. We were looking for a long time for the house we were in, and my husband didn't want to look again for another house. So I was pretty upset, and so was he because he didn't want to move, and I didn't want to stay because I wasn't feeling that it was the right place for us to stay. So this went on for probably another week and a half or so. It was horrible, to say the least. It was really bad because it was so much tension because we were not in agreement with what to do about the house. So as the time went on and it got closer to the time for us to sit down with the realtors and the loan officers, I was the one who had to make the decision. And I told my husband the night before, uh, earlier that day, okay, what we'll do is just we'll go ahead and stay at this house, and we'll just go on from there because we don't want friction between us. And so he said, okay, that's fine, and he was pretty happy about that. But later that night, just before I laid my head down to go to sleep, I told him, I said, I'm feeling that feeling again in the pit of my stomach, and I cannot sign those papers. So we were back to where we were before. so, so to make a long story short, the next day got up and sat at the table with the realtors and the loan officers. It was so tense because the realtors were friends of ours, and they knew that I wasn't feeling that this was the right house and didn't want to sign. So all eyes were on me, and it seemed as if I was all alone in this decision making because everyone was expecting me to say, okay, I'm going to sign the papers, let's close on this house and get it over with. But I was still feeling that really strong feeling. It was so intense, and I know when I felt that feeling before that I need to go with, um, my gut feeling, and I knew that if I didn't, uh, it wouldn't be good. So I told them, well, guys, know you are all waiting for me to say, okay, I'm going to sign these papers, but I can't do it because I'm feeling this feeling on the inside of me. And I know that, when I had this feeling before that, it was God telling me, wait a minute here, don't be so fast. And I got something better for you. So I told them, I can't sign the papers and we'll just have to keep looking. So everyone was sort of sighing like, oh no. And then our friend told us that there was another house that came open just recently on the market. They just put it out, and it's something that we may be interested in looking at. So I said, okay, that sounds fine with me. And so he called the owners of the house. We were able to go right over there directly from that meeting to take a look at it. And once we got over there, we looked around the house. Once we drove up there to the house, I felt um, still, that feeling was still there. And then I was thinking, well, it looks nice on the outside. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. We walked around, looked at everything. And once we got finished with the tour, we were standing outside in a driveway. My husband and our realtor friend were talking. Then I noticed something, and I stopped and I told him, I said, guys, I don't feel that feeling in my stomach anymore. It's gone. It was completely gone. And it was such a relief because for the last several weeks, I've been having that really strong feeling in my stomach. And I just knew that I could not sign those papers. So when I told them that, they both smiled and were happy. Then later that evening, my husband told me, he said, Cheryl, I am so glad that you did not give up and that you did not give in and say, well, let's stay at this other house. He said, I really like this house and I'm glad that you stood your ground and we are moving into the new house. And we've been here 3 years now and we really love the neighborhood. It's a beautiful area. And so that was something that was just amazing and what a relief. And God is good. He knows better than we do. And if we would have stayed at the other house, who knows what would have happened. I don't know. But we are both happy living here. We love the house. Our children love the house and the neighborhood. So when you're feeling something in your spirit, I call it my spirit right here. It's almost like in your stomach area, and it's really intense and strong, and it's like an urgency. You need to stop and pay attention to what's going on, and it almost feel like it's some type of fear, but it's not as um, I'll just say as scary as a fear feeling would be. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but when God is telling you something, you feel like there's an urgency, and it's almost like I said, like an urgency and an intense feeling, almost nervous type feeling because you're wondering what is going on. Okay, you start paying attention and start examining, why am I feeling like this? What is this feeling? That there's something else, and when you start paying attention, you start hearing that, okay, there's something else going on here, and you need to pay attention. And if you listen and do what I say to do, you start hearing like not crazy voices, but but you will hear inside um, direction. Okay, so anyway, um, it's amazing. And that was an amazing um, time, and to look back at that time and see how things just happened. It was only God doing that. We, like I said, we love this house and it's beautiful. And so That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, have a good night. Bye.